So he wants you to put aside all of this stuff, all the past, all the experiences, all the way you perceive everything, and receive as newborn babes. What are you supposed to receive? You're supposed to receive and desire the unadulterated milk of the word. Unadulterated. That's challenging. Where are you going to find unadulterated word? Do you find it here in your printed book? No. Do you find it out of most preachers' mouths? No. It's kind of a tough, little tall order here, right? You're going to receive as a newborn babe the unadulterated word. It's very challenging. The word's been terribly adulterated. All the translations have issues. Most of the teachers, if not all of them, have issues. But I hear people talk all the time about in their relationship, they didn't feel safe. With their parent or father or mother, whatever, they didn't feel safe. In a congregation, they don't feel safe. At a job, they don't feel safe. When they're with certain people, they don't feel safe. This is a real problem. Here's what makes it brutally hard to deal with. Sometimes you really are actually not safe, and that's hard. But sometimes you're using it because you are not being allowed to misbehave and do the foolish things you want to do, and now you're calling that unsafe because it's not allowing you to do that. See, when you act the fool and you get corrected for it, or you make mistakes and get corrected for it, you're now labeling anything that you don't like as unsafe. How are you going to taste that the master is good? What does that look like? Is it only when he does nice things in your life? You know what? The master is good when he corrects you. It's good to be corrected, then you can fix the problem. The master is good when he puts you in challenging positions so you can grow. You can't grow in your comfort zone. The only way to grow is to get outside your comfort zone. Period. Every personal development person in the history of the universe has told you that. Okay, they've recognized that people grow when they're challenged outside of their comfort. They're stretched emotionally or physically or intellectually. It's the stretching that grows you. Every week I have conversations with people who say, well, I don't know what to do. Well, that's normal. I've had lots of times, like almost every day, where there's something going on that I don't know what to do. But you act like it's a crisis. You don't know what to do? Well, then you know what you do? You figure it out. That's what you do when you don't know what to do. But I don't know what to do. Well, find somebody that does know what to do and find out how they did it in whatever area you're struggling in. Well, I don't know what to do. This is like 60-year-old people telling me this. It's like, how'd you make it to 60? Where in your scripture do you see anybody sitting studying the word? Where do you see that? Oh, and then they sat down and they were studying the word. Now, we see things like David saying, I meditate on your word. Of course, David was a king. David had access to a scroll or two. Did the average person have anything to study? In the first 4,000, 5,000 years of history, did anybody have anything they could actually pick up and read and study? And if they did, could they have read it anyway? No, because you'll say to me, oh, well, I don't want to do those jobs because I need more time to study. When did anybody have time to study? When they were shepherding and farming and there was no electricity, and so when it got dark, they went to sleep, and they woke up and they worked. I'm not against study, don't get me wrong, but you guys use these things as excuses to not take care of what you need to do. It doesn't really matter if you love it or not. It's the only way I know how to do things, okay? I know I threatened you the other day and said I was going to come up here and be Joel Osteen. And some of you said if that happened, you'd walk out. Yes, you would, because you know how useless that is. I just get up here and tell everybody, it's all going to be just great. You're walking in favor. You know? You can do it. And just read something, one verse out of context and whatever. Or I could get in your face with the things that actually will make a difference in your life, if you can receive it. He is who and what he is. Precious and chosen of Elohim. Some men didn't like the way he came. Lots of men didn't like the way he came. Lots of men didn't like the way he approached things. Lots of men didn't like what he did. Especially they didn't like what he didn't do. And so they rejected him. Why? Because this is the hardest thing for you people, expectations not being met. He didn't meet their expectations. You don't like me because I don't meet your expectations. You don't like somebody you're interacting with, a friend or a congregant member, because they're not meeting your expectations. You don't like an employee or an employer because they're not meeting your expectations. You don't like your spouse or your child because they're not meeting your expectations. There's only one being in the universe whose expectations matter. It's not you. Okay? Only Elohim's expectations matter. So he says, you also as living stones. Who? The ones who have tasted indeed that he's good. The ones that have put aside all the evil and all the other things. The ones who have chosen to accept and to come in line with and become congruent with the living stone, the rock. We do have a teaching, by the way, called Yeshua the Rock. It's one part you can go listen to. It's an older teaching. He says, you are supposed to be being built up into a spiritual dwelling place, a spiritual house. But recognize that in doing so, the same still applies. You will still be rejected indeed by men. You're still going to be looked at as chosen and precious by Elohim. See, all of these things still apply to you like they apply to Messiah. He chose you and you're precious. You're still going to be rejected by men. Do you not expect that you're going to have problems and issues? If you're married and your spouse is not in this walk, you're going to have issues. If you're single and you're planning to, and this is for people out there especially, because I know we don't have too much of this here, but out there, because some of you contact me. If you are going into this walk and you're fully committing into this walk and you're dating somebody now that is not interested in this walk, do not marry them. Oh, that's so mean, Rabbi. No, I'm saving you a divorce. But you don't understand, I'm so in love and we've been together for so long. Okay, make your choice. You have no idea what you're about to bring into your life. What brings shame? What you believe in or what you do? What brings shame? Because you can believe in a lot of stuff and nobody even knows you believe in it. You can believe in atheism, agnosticism, and communism, and any ism on the planet, in anything all the way to the right or to the left politically. You can believe anything sexually, and if you never open your mouth, nobody would know there's no shame. Okay? It's when you do something that you can possibly experience shame. So it's not just belief conceptually that brings shame. He's saying, look, if you believe on him and you do the things that demonstrate what that looks like, then you will never be put to shame. Because there's no shame when you do his stuff, his way, period.